In this demo, you'll see how to create a customized web chat experience using Semantic-Kernel, OpenAI's GPT-4 model, and ASP.NET Core. There is more detailed information about this project in the accompanying blog. You can catch the link for that in the notes underneath this video. So over to the right hand side, we can see we have a solution that's currently open. I won't go through all of the code files. I'll just run through some of the key components that form this project. So if we open up the chat controller, we can see here between lines 30 and 56, we have an endpoint that accepts a post request. And it's this endpoint that's used to accept information from the user. We take that information and then we check to see if there is an instance of any chat history for this particular session. If there is, then we add the prompt that was passed in to that history. If there's no chat history and it's the first interaction, the history gets created and we add the user prompt like before. We can see down here between lines 45 and 49, that's where we actually send the human prompt to the OpenAI completions endpoint using semantic kernel. After we get a response, we then add the AI's response at line 52, and then down at line 54, we pass the agent's response back to the web page. Just for a little bit of more context, this agent will handle bookings for a fictitious hotel, and under the hood to manage those bookings and complaints, we have some plugins, and we can see these over here on the right hand side. Now, if you want to dig in a little bit more as to what these plugins and native functions do, you can read some of the earlier blogs or catch some of the earlier videos in this series. So we'll take a look at the underlying view that calls this endpoint, and we can open this here. So we'll see up between lines 5 and 10, we have a simple input box that lets us capture the user input. If we scroll down here, we can see that we have some JavaScript, which just handles some of the key presses. We make an API call between lines 29 and 35 to our API endpoint, and then we pass the JSON response and inject the agent response back into the DOM. We can take a look at the program.cs file, and we can see here between lines 26 and 39, that's where we set up the semantic kernel plugins, and we add some logging to help us get a little bit of a deeper insight as to how the integration between semantic kernel, OpenAI, and the web page are all behaving. So we can run this application, click on chat, we get our text box, we can say hi, what can you do? And under the hood, semantic kernel and the LLM are discovering which plugins and native functions are available for this particular agent. And we can see here it has identified 5. So we will say, I would like to make a booking. Under the hood, the agent has checked which dates are available. And just for extra context, I have created some hard-coded dates, and those live within a strongly typed list. So we will accept this booking. The agent will then remove that from the list of available dates and send us a confirmation message that lets us know that the booking has been successful. If you have been following along with some of the other examples, you will be aware of the concept of permissions with this agent, in that if you identify yourself as a manager, you can fetch a list of complaints that somebody has left with the agent. Before we do that, we have to file a complaint, so we could say and supply some further details. Again, under the hood, the agent will then log this complaint to an internal collection. Now, if we want to view these complaints, we have to tell the agent that we're a manager. Now, naturally, in a real world application, you wouldn't just hijack the agent like this, but for the purposes of this demo, we will explicitly say that we are a manager and we would like to view all complaints. And we can see here that the agent lets us know that because we're a manager, we can view the complaints, and it has fetched the list of complaints that were previously stored. So that was it, a very quick run through of how you can create a custom web chat experience using Semantic Kernel, OpenAI's GPT-4 model and ASP.NET Core. We've seen how to create a controller endpoint and how we can interact with that using JavaScript. We've also seen how state and memory management has been achieved by using a service class. You can dive deeper into the code that made this possible by viewing the accompanying blog at jamiemaguire.net.